Hello you guys, so on today's episode we're going to be actually testing a hard drive, actually two hard drives. We're going to see if one of the sectors or a few of the sectors gone bad on the hard drive. We're even going to be trying, I think in the part 2, we're going to be trying to raid the two drives. They're old desktop or laptop drives. They're 5400 RPM each, so we're going to see if we can increase the overall speed by having the two together in a RAID 0. So we're going to test that out. Right now we're going to install Windows 11 on this computer here. Hopefully this works out pretty good. Alright, so we are back guys. So yeah, we're going to be installing Windows 11 on here on this system behind me. I kind of wanted to do it on a different system. The hard drive setups, the hard drives will be affected, I believe, by the USB to SATA cable. I think that's going to slow it down a little bit, but we're trying to see if we could see any problems with the actual drives. Okay, there we go. That's fine. So yeah, we're going to be installing Windows 11 on the system. As you guys know, we did get a sponsored dubby. We're going to be, well, I mean, I can't even say I'm going to be testing it out because we basically drank every sample they gave us. Oh man, must support TPM 2.0, and it should. It looks like that's a BIOS problem probably. So I'm gonna have to. Damn. Okay. So I'm gonna have to go back into the BIOS and figure that out. It's always something. Always something. Seems it sounds like the TPMS 2.0 is probably disabled. Um, this is not a new system, but it's from 2017, 2018. If you guys watched some of my other videos, you would have seen I actually posted about this rig before. If I have to go to Windows 10, it's fine. It's just gonna take more time. Everything just takes a lot of time. That Windows Vista 64-bit system, sadly, I just couldn't get the Windows Vista version working. So we're going to try again with that and see. I might have to re-download or try to figure out a way to get around that. Um, the system itself turns on, goes into Windows. I wish it didn't just do this because it's just wasting time. Um, but yeah, it goes into the operating system, boots up, but there's just something wrong with the actual 64-bit version. Certain games aren't opening up. Certain applications, I would say most applications aren't even opening up. So that's a thing. Let me see. I think I might have to pull the USB out. We're gonna see right now probably because the delete the F12 isn't working to get me into BIOS. It's just bypassing that. So that's great. Oh my goodness, what happened? All right. USB just got fried. Alright, let's restart. Yeah, poor USB got fried. I think it'll still work, but damn, this freaking seat's a little rough. Alright, so let's get us into BIOS and hopefully this will work. Oh my goodness, I can't even boot into BIOS. Come on now. What the frick, man? What are we doing? Come on. Even the BIOS isn't playing right. Come on now. There we go. What the hell? Sorry guys. Oh my goodness. So yeah, we got 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes all together, running at 2133. Here's our processor. It's an i7-7700 3.6 gigahertz. Okay. Alright, so we have to figure out how we're going to get this secure boot, TPMS 2.0 up. We're probably going to need to go in advanced, and hopefully I can figure this out. Probably through security. Okay. Secure boot state. I'm assuming that's the problem. It's disabled. So we're going to enable that. Enable function, enable PTT in me. I'm not going to... Sweet TPM. No, I'm not going to do that. Or maybe we have to. We're going to see. Enable support for Windows 8 or later versions. Okay, so I think this is what's going to do it. Our secure boot. Pretty interesting. You know, a lot of the newer boards have this TPMS 2.0 for security. So we're going to exit. We're going to save changes and exit. Alright, so that's kind of how you do it. Always be careful in the BIOS. There's a lot of things you could change, and you probably won't want to change everything in there unless you're more, you know, getting more advanced. Alright, so it's going to reboot. It's not going to know what it's doing because it doesn't have an actual USB drive. We're back after I just dropped that USB. There we go. Alright, so we're going to press Control-Alt-Delete. This is going to set us back. It's going to reset. And then it should open up, if I didn't destroy that USB, it should open up our Windows 11 boot media. As you guys can see, I'm actually drinking, this was one of the mystery jars they send their sponsors. Dubby, it's like a lemonade energy drink. Definitely pretty solid. It's called Japanese Yuzu. Could be saying that wrong, but pretty solid. You know, I've drank maybe 12, maybe 10 or 12 servings of this already. And on top of that, I've tried a few of their samplers. Samplers are really good. I like the hydro samplers that I mentioned before. Pretty solid. Yeah, solid drinks so far. I'm definitely going to be drinking more of this. I actually showed my buddies this drink and they also enjoyed it. So here we go. We're going to start our Windows 11 setup. This probably could be more like a stream, and that didn't even work. So we're going to go back and do the same exact thing, but we're going to try something a little different. I was hoping that would work, but no. Sometimes just get unlucky. Alright, so we're going to pull this out. Do this again. Usually it plays nice, but today it's not playing so nice. So we're gonna try to get into BIOS again. Again, it's usually delete or F12. I'm gonna be pressing delete F12, F11 because it doesn't want to play too nice. So it's not F11, definitely delete or, here we go, okay. F12. Alright, so we'll go back to here. I'm assuming this is what it wants us to do. Disable P. Man, okay. Now, let's enable that. User password. I don't want to mess with the user password stuff. Just gotta hope this works, otherwise we're kind of screwed. Okay, before I do this, I know it's gonna try to boot automatically, so we're gonna pop that USB in, try not to break an arm or anything of that sort. Okay, hopefully it'll boot right up. CPMS is always could be a pain. It's like hit or miss though. Sometimes it goes, sometimes it doesn't. And right now we're not going at all. Okay. Come on now. Now this is a SSD. It's a 128 gigabyte M.2 SSD, so we're testing that. I got a bunch of them just for the operating systems alone, and then we can expand that drive. This is actually a system I'm looking to sell because I could use the cash, so hopefully I can get this one working and you know, make a couple videos out of it. We'll have 2 if I can get this going. Yeah, so it should be good. If I can't get it going, then I'm gonna have to figure it out. It's gonna be rough. I had a terabyte in here, but I'm not gonna end up using this computer, so it probably doesn't need a full terabyte. Let's get this right here. Okay, come on now. You could do it. Come on now. Let's get past the screen. Okay. This I think we got up to. Come on, come on. Alright, let's go, guys. So we're one step ahead. In order to create a boot disk, you have to download your media creation tool from the Windows website, from the Microsoft website, well, Windows, I should say. So we're gonna basically you would download the create installation tool, and then if as long as you have an 8 gigabyte USB, you can pop that on the USB itself. Not the ISO, but just go through with the create media installation tool. It'll do it for you. And then you're gonna put the USB in the system. You may have to make this USB your main boot drive, your main drive. This way it automatically pops onto the USB, and then your secondary could be your hard drive, is what I usually do. And then once the installation is completed, we take the USB out, you make that hard drive that you installed Windows 11 on your main drive. So that's what I usually do. It's not really, I'm sure there's a lot of other ways, but this is our boot creation tool right here. This allows us to download Windows 10 or 11. Okay, so we have this one drive. We actually got them cleared completely. I think I bought 8 of them from eBay for like $80, and it's great because they're perfect for just regular, operating systems. It'll make the system nice and peppy, and I could add a mechanical drive behind that. I know a lot of people say, they don't like the mechanical drives anymore, but from what I understand, the mechanical drives, if they do fail, which generally they do end up failing for the most part after I think 5 or 10 years, they have it's a pretty decent life, but at least you should, as long as no really bad damage happens to it, you should be able to recover most of that. I've heard from some other people that it's actually pretty hard to recover M.2 storage after it's become defected. So just keep that in mind. I'm not 100% sure on that. I've never tried to restore any information. I kind of just end up losing it. But a friend of mine had mentioned it was somewhat difficult to restore information off of an M.2 or digital instead of the mechanical system, because you could just take the information off that disk and read it thoroughly, and that would be it, just about. Some of our other videos, we still want to get that Windows 95 rig set up. It's been a while since I even talked about that, because I know it's going to be a difficult one. I know it's going to be hard. It's going to be taxing, tiring. That Windows Vista one, we had some struggles with Windows Vista, but I know the Windows 95 one is going to be even more taxing, even more difficult. So that's going to be a thing. We're going to try our best to eventually get the Windows 95 set up. Our next task is probably going to be the Windows Vista. Maybe a 64-bit, I'm not sure. I could just use the 32-bit off that one and then put it on this one here. The goal was, can we make an LGA 775 system that plays 64-bit games and runs them well, or at least decently? Can we run newer games on it? This hard drive in this system has a 32-bit drive, so if I put the 64-bit version of Vista on this computer down here, will we be able to run 64-bit games? Some of the games that we weren't able to run on this system, the 32-bit system, was Outlast, and a few other titles. But that's going to be one of our projects to see if we can finally get that going. It would be great if we can get a 64-bit version of Vista on there. It seems our install didn't work out too well, so we're going to have to try again. It's trial and error with a lot of these things. I've never actually even tried to really test drives out before like this before, so this is going to be something new. We have another system we're going to be doing our RAID on, so the RAID system is going to be a part 2. We're not going to be using this system because I believe a RAID has to be a fresh install. So we're going to RAID 0 on a fresh install of Windows. On another system, yes, we have several systems. We build a lot. I have a lot of fun making these videos, trying to put them together. But yeah, we got several systems. This other system I got for $10 at Savers. I did have to buy some DDR3L, so it's low power RAM. I did have to buy that for the system. I have drives for it, so it's not really going to matter. There, we're going to be able to actually connect them through the SATA, so I don't have to go and I don't have to use USB to SATA. Well, SATA to USB. I could just use SATA to SATA and connect it directly to the motherboard. Drives are going to work a lot faster that way, I believe. Don't quote me. I do believe the USB itself, the 3.0. This is like the little thing I use, the dongle. This little connector here, I do believe this will slow it down. I believe so. Not 100% sure, but I know that. Well, I honestly don't know too much, but as far as I've heard is that going SATA to SATA directly to the board will help you with read and write speeds. So that's going to be a thing that we have to look out for and kind of understand, I believe, when we go about doing these tests, because there's going to be, there might be a slight drop in certain things. But we're just trying to see if this is going to work. We're going to try using check disk to see if any of the drives are bad. We're also going to be using our Passmark drive test. Hopefully we could test the specific drive and not just the M.2, because the M.2 is going to be looking good. Regardless, it's already been tested by whoever's selling it, apparently. And the last one I got was pretty good. They're all tested and formatted, so that's the main thing. Tested and formatted. But yeah, that should be good. That's the main thing for this one. We're not going to be doing any crazy benchmarks on the system. If you guys want to see the benchmarks on the system, hopefully we'll have that at the end of the video. We have a whole other video I put out a few weeks ago with the benchmarks for the specific system, minus the different drive. Apparently, I think the drive I had in here was a little faster than this one, probably. It was also a bit more money, so it's usually how it goes. But yeah, I'm excited. We're going to be putting out another video. We have a lot more videos we could put out. A lot more video ideas. So that's going to be interesting, being able to put out all these different videos and, see what we could do and see if I can get any more information out to you guys that I learn little by little. That's about it, I guess. So we're going to wait for this to download. Alright, so we are restarting. I think this is usually the time when we have to pull the drive out. But let's see. Okay, alright, so we're installing. We don't have to pull out yet. it might tell us when to pull the USB out. I totally forget. I think on the next boot you have to pull the USB out. Otherwise, it's going to boot into this boot tool again. And you don't really want it doing that. I mean, it's not a big deal. You just go back and pull it out, power it down, pull it out, and you should be good. It should boot up, but we'll see. Oh man. So we're at 28 minutes. So yeah, guys, this stubby drink has been part of my diet for over a couple weeks. I will say this though, towards the company, so far it's been good. The drinks are good. The shipping, we got to get the shipping down pat. If I'm going to have a sponsor, I want the sponsor to be on top of things. Shipping, it shouldn't take 2 weeks to get a product. So this took about a week and a half, give or take. So, let's get that shipping going. Let's speed that up a little bit if you can. Yeah, definitely shipping's going to be a thing. The product is pretty good. Definitely helps with a little bit of energy, but let's get the shipping going, guys. Let's get this locked in. Otherwise, we're almost there. We could use another one of these. Let's get it going. Hopefully I won't have to sign in. Alright. We're just going to go through this. Normally, there was something I had to do to get past this. Do I remember? Probably not. I definitely do not have the driver for that offhand. Okay, I watched a video. There is a way, so we're gonna figure out the way. Oh, that's it. Yep, that's it. Okay, where is it? Okay, accessibility. I'm pretty sure that's what we gotta press. Let's see. Skip. So we gotta figure out how to skip the Let's Connect. To a network. Here we go. Alright, so Shift FN F10. Okay. Ah, oops. Oh, shoot. My bad, guys. Alright, let's try that again. Just one. Alright, now we gotta put in 0 BE. Oh, it's not working. Ain't that great. Alright, come on now. Zero PE, and I should try to make it the same. The dash has to be in a specific orientation. Oops, not that way. Okay, so it's got to be like that, because I tried it the other way on accident, not realizing didn't work. It's got to be all capitals. Why it requires internet right off the rip, I'm not sure. Damn, I screwed it up. Alright, so the 00 didn't work, so let's put 00. Sometimes it's an O instead of a, just looks like a 0. Okay, bypass NRO. Okay, there we go. So that bypasses this whole internet network thing. Do we all have internet drivers already on a USB when we go to do this. Maybe some people will. I guess now I'll have to get used to doing that. I'm not really a big fan of that. Um, the bypass should be way easier than this. Not a big fan of that. So we're gonna have to figure that out. Let's see what it does right here. Alright, so things are time consuming, guys. Things have gotten time consuming. This is probably like the hardest part. Alright, did it just have us do same thing over and over again? I think it did. Oh, it did. Come on now. Let's skip. Alright, so we're gonna put Swan, Swana J. No, no password. I don't really want any of that, so I'm just gonna. There we go. Let's skip all that. Sometimes the tailored ads are okay. At least it kind of knows what ads we want and doesn't keep shoving random ads down our throats. So I guess that makes sense. I'd rather ads tailored to my viewership, I guess, than random ads that just don't make any sense. You know. But either way, I don't really like the ads in general. So, um, okay, right. Let's get that. As you guys know, this could be pretty time consuming. Um, we're gonna try our best to see what we could do. Hopefully, we could figure out this check disk. I've never actually tested a drive in this manner. I never used check disk. I have used Passmark's disk, you know, disk application tester, but I've never actually tried. I don't think I've ever really used check disk that often. I should have. I should definitely should have, but if I had an issue with the drive, I probably wouldn't have even noticed. I have noticed this 5400 RPM is super slow. I mean, even slower than other laptop drives. I've used many drives, but never had one this slow. It does seem to have some type of buffer sound going on. So I think it's probably a failing drive, if not on its way out. It still does load things, but we're gonna try to figure that out if we can. Hopefully, we'll get to it. Yeah, it still does load things, but it just loads them very slow. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't really make much sense to why it takes so long to load. Okay, here we go. So I'm not going to go crazy trying to figure things out. I think we are hooked up. Hopefully we are hooked up to some form of Wi-Fi. We're going to get Passmark on here, hopefully. Okay. No, I don't want any of that going on. Come on now. Start browsing. Okay. Alright, so let's get Passmark. And hopefully we are on the internet. We are not. It just said we were connected. We're not. Damn. Ain't that a beauty? Sorry, guys. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's get me over here and out of the way. What happened? I don't even know. Okay, so it's showing wired. What's our internet sound showing? Okay, we're connected. I might be better off just popping my other USB in. Ethernet. Okay, it shows that. Have to just skip that portion. Bing, Edge, you're not working well. just for my own purposes. Let's just unpin the stuff we're not using. Taskbar. We don't really need any of that stuff. System trays. I don't want to see Microsoft OneDrive opening up again. Don't want any notifications going crazy on the side. Nope. Alright, so that has just completely done absolutely nothing. Looks like our internet is not working. Do I think I have it on this drive? Let's see. On this USB drive. Let's see what we got. I might. This is my usual setup drive. We're going to pull this USB out. We don't need that. So I have a setup drive. Basically, I use it with most of my setups. And hopefully we have Passmark on it. I'm not sure. Okay. We have hardware monitor. Wired driver. It's probably not for that. I mean, we could test it, but it's probably for another system. DirectX. It's 11. No, there's nothing. There's nothing here that we could possibly even use. Maybe the DirectX setups. Will this specific wired driver work for this system? I'm not sure. I'll try it out. Can't hurt, I guess. Cannot hurt. Let's see. Oh, maybe it can. It's just strange that's coming up, but our internet itself isn't. So what is going on? If you're connected to this Ethernet, we're connected directly from my other computer. No internet connection. Okay, well, that's not good. What can I do right now that'll get that going? That's a good question. Okay, so I got an idea. So we're going to use this drive. I'm going to download Passmark on it because that's all we need. We just need Passmark. Finished our Dubby drink, so now we're going to attempt to test Passmark and see if we can get these, see how this drive is. I believe this is the old Lenovo drive. I don't know where this came out of. I guess a Lenovo laptop. I looked into it a little bit. It looks like it came out of a 2016 Lenovo laptop. I don't know whose. Just a random drive, but we formatted it, and then we put performance Passmark test on it. So there we go. Then we're going to format it again, and then we're going to test it. We also have to try check disk. Okay, let's try a disk. Now, how do we get it to test a specific drive? Okay. Alright, so it's showing two specifics. 32KQD20. Now, I think this is our drive we have to test. Let's give it a shot. Let me see. What's this one? Okay. So the top ones are M.2. We don't have to test that out. We're just going to test our 5400 RPM. And, yeah, we're going to test our other 5400 RPM with our 3.0 adapters. So it's not going to be perfect. We have to format both of them eventually, but not yet. Let's see. Alright, let's get it. Let's see, I might have to restart that. Let's see. Looks like my USBs have stopped working. Come on now. You could do it. Nope. We lost the USB, guys. Switch where it goes. We'll put it right into the back of the board. Okay. There we go. Okay, so do we have another drive now? No, not yet. Okay, let's try this again. We're going to reboot and see if that drive will come up. If not, I don't really know. No, I didn't pop back up. Okay. We're going to test this one. I think this is the bad one. Alright. So we're running our disk mark for this drive. Alrighty. Alright, so we are back, guys. It looks like we got a very low percentile. 24 percentile, even for a mechanical drive. It's pretty bad. Even, like, I wonder what our mid-range would look like. Yeah, we got a 24. The average, world average for this type of drive, I believe, is a 53. So this is pretty bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. What we can do is take that. Let's try a check disk. I don't really know. I think we have to open up command prompts. Let's see. I think that's how we do check disk. Let's see. See if I know what I'm doing. Come on, keyboard. Let's work. Come on. You could do it. Oh, almost. Oh, man. Okay. If I were to guess, this is probably the command. It may be locked by another process. You may have to invoke this utility or running. Okay, so this might have screwed it, but yeah, it's very low end. Let's try that again. Come on now. Shit. Utility running in elevated mode and make sure the disk is unlocked. Disk should be unlocked. Let's go disk management. Let's see what's going on with it. So we should have 2 disks. 3 disks actually, and possibly an additional. Let's see what we got. Okay. Delete this volume, yes. we seem to have a problem. It's not letting us delete some of these recoveries. Alrighty guys, so we are back. We were having some issues with our drives. It turns out they didn't really want to work, so there we go. We got local disk D. Where's our other disk? Well, who knows? We're gonna figure that out. Alright, let's pull up Disk Genius. Okay. This should allow us to format it. For some reason it's just not formatting in the create what is it, disk management. It's just not working for that. So this is where we're gonna get our work done right here. Honestly, you might be able to even test the drives through Disk Genius. I never tried it before, but here we go. Okay, so we're gonna agree whatever we got there. Alright, so we have our local disk J. I think there was just a Disk Genius thing on there, so we're gonna press format. Yes, here we go. Okay. We're gonna figure out which one's working well and which one's not working. Is there anything I could see on here that might be different? I see heads 32, sector 33. I don't really know exactly what I'm looking at, but here we go. I didn't want to do that. Oh. Alright, so let's cancel that out. Looks like there's a second instance of it running. Alright, here is our other one. Okay, it's the same exact thing. We're gonna want to delete all partitions. We're gonna create a new partition. Okay, press OK. Now we have to format it and then we have to save it. I don't know which one it's gonna have us do. Okay, it's not saved, so we're gonna save all and then we format. This way it'll be a usable drive. Okay. Okay, looks good. Local disk, local disk. Alright, I will have to format this again, I believe. Let's get that. Okay. Alright, so both of our things are formatted. Let's see what we could do here, what kind of tools we have. Interesting. Construct the virtual RAID. System migration, clone partition, copy sector. Recover files. The only thing I see is table error. That might be interesting. Let's see what we got here. Any differences that we could visually see? Oh, sorry guys. Let's get that. Alright, so I do see this red color, I don't know. Oh, it's still, okay, end cylinder head 60,801. If any of these numbers change, I'm sure they might be the same numbers. Let's see. Yeah, same numbers. No difference. Heads. Yeah, same exact. Okay. So let's call that. Let's go over here. See if we can. Then we're going to do the check disk and see if we could figure that out. Advanced visualize physics test database benchmark disk, advanced disk settings. Okay. Alright, none of that is going to help, I don't believe. There we go. So we have 1, we have 2, and I believe we have 3. I don't know which one is which. Let's just run them all, see what this does. I don't really know what we're expecting. We're going to figure that out. Alrighty guys, so we're back. We're gonna be looking through this and kind of see how we did. I don't really know the exact um, measurements we're looking for, but we're gonna kind of compare to um, other statistics. Alright, so we have our IOPS 4K. I believe this is our second drive that we considered to be bad. We have our IOPS 512. That looks more like it's probably that SSD that tested out. um, and then there's a Ren 4K. So we have to figure out all this. Let's see. Let's graph out our 4K. Like I said, this is really bad. Yeah, I just don't see a world where that could be good. So let's see what we got. This is our Samsung. Let's see which one is our Samsung drive. Should have two drives. Oh, oh. So this might have been our. Let me see. No, that's Memorex. It's interesting. Oh. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, so that's supposedly our M.2. I keep messing up my mouse. That's our M.2 sitting at less than 30 megabytes per second. Okay. So that could be an issue. Our read speeds, our write speeds, very slow. Alright, let's go to our 512K read and figure out which one this is. This also says our oh, so this is our Samsung speed. Okay. These are probably all just our Samsung speeds. Yeah, this is all Samsung. Okay, so all we did was test our Samsung out. I don't really know. These are all the transfer rates, our read writes. This is literally all on the same. Maybe it's just testing the different partitions. That wasn't really my goal. My goal was to test out our two drives that are not good. Alright, so that's not really the issue. Our issue, I believe, is going to be this drive and this drive, and then we're going to compare and contrast the two drives, and hopefully, eventually, one day, we're going to do this RAID 0 with the drives. Let's see. Okay, so we're testing out our 1 gigabyte. Okay, so these are all the different transfer rate tests, I'm assuming. I don't know much about these in general, but I kind of wanted to see, you know, I want to see if we can actually learn a little something while we go through this process, and maybe we could actually see an issue with some of these numbers, which would be pretty interesting. It turns out these tests are pretty time consuming, but this is the only way we're going to be able to test this. I'm sure there's other ways, but this is the only way we're going to be able to, at the moment, figure out if something's wrong, and hopefully we'll be able to tell right off the bat if there's an issue. So I'm gonna check this out, and we're gonna let this run through and see. So guys, what have we learned so far? I think what I've learned, those 30 megabyte numbers, those are pretty good. This drive, quarter of a megabyte or 0.40 megabytes per second on the read, and then minimum, I should do average, 0.7 on the write. This is really bad. I don't know. We're gonna compare the two drives because I know one of the drives is pretty good. I didn't really have any issues with it. One of the drives, pretty bad. I'm pretty sure this is the one. But right now I'm gonna look into kind of where it should be at. We're gonna look up the average read write for a 5400 laptop drive, and that's how we're gonna figure this out. For 5400 RPM drive. Okay. Let's kind of see where we're at, because I think this is probably a bad drive. Even then, HDD typically range from 80 to 130 megabytes per second. Damn. I mean, we were not even near that, I don't believe. So, whatever we're getting right now, pretty bad. Let's see. On IOPS 4K, just to make sure it's 4K random read write IOPS are typically low, often in the 50 to 100 IOPS range due to mechanical limitations. We get slow speeds 0.2 to 0.4. So this would be considered, as per chat, pretty low speed. Poor for OS booting, but good for media storage. Okay. Yeah, so here we go. 50 to 100. Okay, our 4K random throughout. Let's see what it says here. Random throughout 81. Even then, we're looking at a lower than average. So this drive may be practical for media, file storage, but overall for an operating system, this drive wouldn't be the one you're gonna want to put in your system. From what I'm reading, we're kind of just trying to put it together as we go, and we're gonna compare and contrast the two drives that we got and see how we could do from there. Let's kind of see. This one is our D drive, so we believe the D is our bad drive. Or if it's not bad, then it's just very slow. I've worked with a lot of laptop drives, and usually they are pretty slow, and it does make the system appear to be slow. But this one's like very, like it buffers. It'll buffer. The system will take forever to start up, and then files will take forever to open up. Yeah, I think something's going on. I don't know if I could hear anything like audio wise. I do hear some form of buffer in between. I don't really know. It's not much, but it's there. I didn't hear any hard noises really. I think that's probably like the worst thing I heard. Little buffers in between. All right, so Let's submit results. Oh, what am I doing here? Oh. Alright, so we're going to copy, submit results, B250 Pro 4, IB. Let's just upload. Alright, we're not even online, so export. Downloads. Okay, so there is that. So now we could just pull it up right here and we'll actually be able to see our read writes for drive D. Might even have a little something going on where we could compare a little bit, but we're going to compare from our own readings as well. It said 0.4 would be pretty slow for the IOPS 4K read. Same thing, this is a bit under average for 5400 RPM, quite a bit. It's supposed to be, I believe, at 80 to 130. So let's keep running it. Let's see. We'll see how this one goes. Alright, so we're going to our F drive. This one I believe is going to be quite a bit better. Let's see what happens. Alright, so you guys can see it's not much faster than the other one. I guess they're about on par, so we're not even sure if there's anything wrong with either of these drives. I do believe this one, as of the minimum read speed, let's see, I believe it is a little faster, very briefly, very slightly. Here's our read speed, 46, that's our average, our minimum here. Alright, so we're looking at pretty close numbers, but even the slightest bit, I mean, this one's a little slower. The Drive D is a little slower. The one I believe is messed up. But that's not, I don't think this test here is going to show us if a sector is bad. I think it's probably just going to run through all the read-write tests, but it might not show us whether or not there's sections on this drive that are bad. That's what I think, at least. I think it's just going to show us whether it's keeping up to speed or not. It's only a minute, so I'm assuming that a minute tests are not likely going to show enough, I would assume. Even our write speeds, you can see. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you see our write speeds increased by almost double on average. So, yeah, our maximum was quite a bit lower on the better drive, but our overall write speed average, yeah, it doubled. So that's big. That's probably why I'm seeing a big difference between the two. Our write speed in that one is almost double, if not near double. That being said, you're definitely going to notice that. So I do honestly believe there is an issue with this. Let me look up what is a. Let me look up to see if this is even a reasonable average for write speed. I feel like that's pretty low. But I'm not sure. I think that's pretty low. I mean, we're talking, these are like the exact same drives pretty much, and they're going head to head. I mean, they're both WDs, but one of them is scoring much better than the other. So I do seriously do believe that this one drive is just bad or going bad. Are these signs that they're going bad? I'm not really sure. Again, this is probably my first time actually picking this up and trying to learn how we can actually test these drives. So I'm kind of learning with the viewers here. Sorry, I don't have all that much background in hard drives, but we're gonna try to learn a little bit, see where we should be at with these slower drives, and we'll keep working. Our main goal always in all of our videos is, can we make these computers run better? How are we gonna do that? Well, we're gonna upgrade our drives. We're gonna try to do RAID zeros. We're going to do whatever it takes. We're going to upgrade processors, RAM, whatever it takes to get these older systems running better. And if I only have 2 laptop drives, then I'm going to use the 2 laptop drives. We're going to figure it out. We're going to try to make these run better because it's all we can do. It's just, this is our channel. Our channel is based around making these old systems run better, as well as run some games here and there. But if we can make these run better with equipment we already have, and we don't have to go out of our way to pick up a bunch of equipment, spend thousands. Maybe we just spend, a couple bucks here and there on old supplies that other people aren't using or have no interest in using. Maybe we can get just little extra speeds, get some drive speeds increase, get some freaking processor speeds increase, get some gaming increases in our FPS, and that's really about kind of what we want to do here. That's the main thing, yeah. But yeah, let's look up this 5400 RPM drive. IOPS 4K write speed average. Let's see where we should be at. Let's see. Okay, we should be, our write speed should be anywhere between 0.5 to 2.5 megabytes per second. And, we're at 1.38 on the second drive, so I think we're in pretty good range. I mean, our write speed on the not the older, but the other drive that I think is bad is at 0.76, so it's barely borderline what write speeds we need. So this would be considered, I would say, probably lower in the typical range, or not even midline, just about the lower portion of it. Midline, I would say, is probably like 1.5, 1.4, wherever we're at on the other drive. It's probably our midline for just about the average 5400 RPM drive. It says our typical is between 0.5 and 2.5, so I guess it's within typical range, but I'm going to say it's like slower typical, I guess, if that makes sense. But kind of, let's see what else we got here, see how our other tests are faring. 512 read, we're getting 34. Okay. Try to see if I can. Oh no, that didn't work too well, did it? Alright, let's narrow this down. I don't really need all that. I just want to see the averages and compare. Alright, so the IOPS 4K read, we have 0.46 average. We're getting faster speeds on the drive that I believe is working correctly. IOPS write, again, we're getting much faster minimums and averages on our drive that I believe is working correctly. Here we go. We have our IOPS 512 read. 512 read even comes out better, quite a bit better than our other drive. Here's our write speed, 39 compared to 50 and 59. I mean, I really think there's something wrong with this other drive. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm hoping we can actually figure something out where we could be like, all right, well, this one's definitely bad, or is it just slow, or has it been dropped? I don't really know. I'm sure these drives have been around, for quite a bit. So we got throughput read 1M. Okay. I'm assuming with most of these, the more megabytes generally means the better. Alright, so just generally how these read-write speeds are going to go, from what I understand. But our throughput right here is 96. Put 81. Even this, we're just blowing it out the water much faster. Throughput write 97. This one actually goes down to 76. So I think our write speeds are even worse than our read speeds on this other drive. It looks like our read speeds are almost normal. Our write speeds, completely bad, really bad. Okay, direct storage GPU read. Yeah, so that's the thing. It looks, I mean, I don't know. It's pretty similar, I would say. So what do we get out of this? What I'm getting out of this, we have quite a bit. We have a quite, even though it's the same exact drive, very similar drive, one of our drives, very slow. Yeah, one of our drives are very, very slow. Our other drive, not so slow. Kind of bare minimum average, just above bare minimum. Now again, we didn't test our 120 gigabyte or 119 gigabyte SSD. Here we're actually testing the other 468 gigabyte or the 500 gigabyte drive, the other 5400 RPM. So you see similar readings. If we were to test that 119 gigabyte SSD, we're going to get completely different readings. As you guys could tell earlier in the video, we actually accidentally tested the 119 gigabyte drive, and it's pretty good. 32 megabytes a second, I'm assuming, is pretty good. Read and write, both pretty good. I didn't really have to worry about that. For this instance, we're not really testing that SSD drive, but if you guys wanted the comparison, you guys can see it's like completely blowing these two drives out of the water. This SSD, there's not much I needed to test to figure out that it's a much faster drive than these 5400 RPM drives. We knew that already. These M.2s, some of them are faster than the speed of sound, from what I understand. They're very fast. A lot of them are very fast. Not the speed of light, but the speed of sound. We got to get them. Apparently, I don't know how the math exactly adds up, but apparently there is some math behind it. I don't really know. But yeah, these M.2s SSDs are becoming very fast. Leaving these older drives kind of just to be left around or forgotten about. But some people really prefer these old mechanical drives over regular M.2s and SSDs, which honestly it was very rare that I heard this. I've never heard anyone else really love these mechanical drives so much, but there are still people that buy mechanical drives and swear by them. So, if you guys are into mechanical drives, I know my buddy was talking about NAS drives. Usually for servers, they hold a lot of storage. Yeah, but they hold a lot of storage, and generally they're low power and the NAS drive's very reliable and good.
So what we see here, it says there's no bad sectors, so no problem. Windows has scanned the file system and found no problems. No further action is required. So I'm assuming the drives are okay, just we might have a slower drive. See what else we can do, and maybe we will run the passmark test one more time, and I think we'll call it from there.
Alrighty, guys. So what were we able to determine? Basically, we had tested our speeds for our 500 gigabyte WD Blue drive, which is also our HD1D drive. Speeds were super slow, and we kind of realized that when we were playing through, and while I was using it as a operating system drive, it was super slow. Even for laptop standards, this was a pretty slow drive. So what I did was I changed this drive to another laptop drive, and I noticed that laptop drive was significantly more peppy. So that actually showed on both of our tests. Our test scores showed that the slower drive, which was the slower drive, which was WD D1, that was significantly slower than our second laptop drive, the 5400 RPM WD, which we could see was quite a bit faster. Here, through Disk Genius, we were actually testing whether or not any of the sectors were bad. This was a 2-hour test. It took a total of an hour and 56 minutes to check through all the sectors. So the slower drive that I thought was or could have been bad, it's not bad. All the sectors are good. Seems it's just a slower drive. I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe it's a little older than the slightly faster 5400 RPM drive. I'm not really sure. But yeah, this is kind of what we got out of this. Testing them both 1-to-1. In our part 2, we're going to be testing both of them in a RAID to see if that speeds that up. And yeah, so that's what we're going to do to figure out if that will speed that up. Having them both RAID together. Hopefully we'll get better readings. But yeah, thanks again for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Stick around for our next video, part 2. Also, our sponsor, Dubby, check them out. Definitely pretty solid. They make some energy powders and some hydro samplers. I do recommend them. I drink a lot of them. And please like and subscribe. Thanks again, guys, and enjoy the rest of your day.